Three, two, one, and we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News. And the Cardinal is back looking in the rearview mirror in front of me. That's wild. Notes on the News is a segment. I'm Angela and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, being here and being you. Notes on the News feed is a segment where I share with you headline news. I share with you headlines that I have personally selected from my news feed, and we might talk about some of those headlines and or the articles and or the subject matter at large, but it's not news, it's just my notes on the news. I was just over at one of True Royals lives, and just listening to a story about some murderation of Lion Den's relatives. So whew, okay. What's new and good with you? That's kind of, I thought I had a couple of minutes to stop in, and now I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, but we gonna keep moving and we gonna keep pushing, and just prayers out, prayers out, prayers up, prayers down and all around, to all of us who are dealing with the brutality of our experience here, and mourning our people, and just prayers out to our ancestors, and as our people cross over, with may their spirits rise up and guide us to continue to fight for justice and rightness. Everything shall be upful and right. Everything is upful and right, even though it doesn't appear to be sometimes. Okay, so Habaragani. Habaragani. That's the word for today, the Nguzo Saba for today. We cycled through the Nguzo Saba. Yesterday's Nguzo Saba was Kuji Chagalia, which is self-determination. And I wanted to add, yesterday I was thinking about, part of self-determination is choosing our heroes and naming our heroes. So I just wanted to say that just as we were having a conversation about Mama Frances Cress Welsing ancestor, and who our heroes are, and we choose we choose who we love. We choose who our heroes are. We choose who we honor. We choose who we emulate. So today's Nguzo Saba is I wonder if that's plural. So no, but today we're on Ujima, collective work and responsibility. To build and maintain our community together, and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems, and to solve them together. Collective work and responsibility reminds us of our obligation to the past, present, and future. And we have a role to play in the community, society, and world. I think I'm still processing that Lion's Den family story, because it's kind of like just coming in waves. Wait, let me get some fresh air. Hey, welcome on the chat. Thanks for the like. Woo. Okay. So, how are you demonstrating through your thoughts, your words, and your actions that brothers and sisters' problems are your problems? How are you working to build and maintain your community collectively? Yeah, I was just over on my that little studio. It's like one day I went in there and it was like 8 gazillion flies in there. So I broke all of that down. Like, we not gonna have a fly trap. I mean, I can't stand to be around when it's one, but I was like, oh no. And then it was so hot over there. This is my original studio, so clearly you're not a day one. But hey, Captain. Hi, whoever jumped on the live stream. Uh, I don't know if yeah. Okay. So Umoja, collective work and responsibility. Our obligation to the past, the present, and the future. What is our obligation to past? What do you consider to be your obligation to the past? I mean, one thing that immediately jumps to mind is carrying on the names of our heroes. We were just talking about our heroes in Kuji Shagalia, carrying on the names of, those who have gone before us, those who have fallen and risen, fighting on our behalf. I didn't know I had major issues with flies till I set up that little space. It's like a fly trap. I don't know. I don't know where they all coming from, and it's not even. I don't know where they coming from. So anyway, yeah. But thanks for your your empathy. Um, what's so that obligation to raise up and acknowledge our ancestors and the people we respect and who have fought for us, and also what is our obligation to the present. I definitely think immediately look at Bella looking out the window. I hope she don't jump out the window. To be really engaged, or as engaged as we can be. I know sometimes it's hard, you know I know sometimes it's hard, but to be as engaged as we can in the battle for justice and rightness and our freedom. And that I feel like ties into our obligation to the future. If we have to fight, because we're modeling to them, to the next generation, how to fight and the importance of fighting. And we have to fight to open up doors and create space and energy for the babies, for the next generations, babies born and unborn. Okay, so let's see what's up with the Buddha. What the Buddha is saying today. Uh, what up, though, Buddha? To have much wealth and ample gold and food, but to enjoy one's luxuries alone, this is the cause of one's downfall. Now, this is really interesting because sometimes when people think of the Buddha, they think of like a renunciant or someone who believes in like withdrawing from society and not participating in society, like just sitting off someplace and meditating, which is actually not what his, what his work was about. But so yeah, to have much wealth and ample gold and food, but to enjoy your luxuries alone. This is the cause of your downfall. We need family. Hey, Delina Robinson, we need community. We need each other. That's what makes us that's what makes us rich. We need love. The children, the sisters, the brothers, the cousins, the mamas, the daddies, I said children, the babies. Hey, shares life. So we need all of that. So go on out there and get you some love and connect with some people and love up on your people. We need each other. Thank you for the likes. So let's jump. Yay, yeah. I don't know if you're saying yeah, yeah. Damn right. Damn right. Okay. So let's jump in on the with the notes on the news feed and see what it wants. So before I get into this, because it didn't come across my news feed, but I hear that there's a black serial killer in Boston that's been caught or whatever. That's the story. He looks blackish. I don't know. And I was like, I'm surprised there's not more black people just out here, killing up white people. I feel like if anybody would have like pent up anger and rage at and injustices that have been, we've been exposed to just randomly and for no god doggone reason, nothing personal. It's one thing to me if you and I have a beef and I get mad and we get into a fight and I stab you or you shoot me. I don't necessarily think that's progressive or productive, but at least you're like, well, what had happened was is she was cheating on him. But some of the stuff that we deal with, it just seemed, dang, what had happened was my skin was black. And so I'm surprised there aren't more. I'm not recommending it, but it just seems like it would be more I'm just saying. So I don't know. I just heard it in passing. Did you hear? And I'm like, no, but I gotta go because this Miss Thing hadn't had a walk today. We got to get her done, get her done. Bare knuckle boxing makes a comeback after 130 years. So I guess that's bare knuckle as opposed to boxing gloves. The only reason this story caught my attention is because I have someone who comes on my channel who I've gone to his channel, and I guess he's into boxing. I think it's Marlo's Corner. Hey, so if you're into boxing, go on over to Marlo's Corner and they chat about boxing. And I don't know, because every time I go, I'm like, ew, they're talking about boxing. And I just leave a like and I run out very quickly because I'm like, I'm here for people being here for what they're here for, but I'm not here for boxing because I want your brains to be, solid and good in your head. I don't want them knocked around. We need your brains. But I'm not trying to be a killjoy, because if boxing give you joy, then I don't know what to say. But that's why it caught my attention. So bare knuckle boxing is making a U.S. comeback after 130 years. So now you can, if you want to talk intelligently to someone, you can say, oh, we heard about that bare knuckle boxing? What you think about that? Hidden Colors director Tariq Nasheed accuses white supremacists of swatting him, putting his family in danger. I'm like, swatting? Now, I can't remember what that was. Y'all probably know what swatting is, but it's when you call and you're like, hey, there's a bomb or a bomber at this address, and then the police, the popo, just swoop down on somebody's house like in full effect, and sometimes people get killed, and you sitting around who made the phone call being like, I got them, is dumb. Bare knuckle fighting is more natural. Really? So you don't have a cushion of the gloves, or do the gloves give your punch extra poof? I don't understand. My mama liked boxing. She used to watch it with her daddy. I said that the other day. I don't, yeah. So it's just kind of foolishness to me, like the wasting of resources, mean-spiritedness, oh, it's so funny to send, the popo down on somebody to think they're, a terrorist. Like, people need shit to do. People need stuff to do that's productive. Like, that stuff get on my nerves. I hate that kind of stuff. So I don't really know much about Tariq Nasheed, but I think that, has there been fights? Has he been fighting somebody in the YouTube streets or something? I don't think I ever even saw Hidden Colors. Am I still black? 7 signs you're spending too much, even if you don't think you are. Now, I just started reading a book for book club. It's called Don't Knock the Hustle or something. It's a nonfiction book, and it's by a man in academia. And it's kind of talking about how, nowadays we all have to have a brand. It's like your responsibility to like make money. And if you don't have a brand and if you ain't hustling, then oh well, that's just a sign that you ain't boo-boo. And you deserve to starve to death and be homeless and have medical issues and no transportation and just die, But anyway, just, kind of thinking about money, how we manage money, how we relate to money, and how a lot of times when we feel like I don't have any money, I can't save any money, or, I'm barely getting by and I can't save any money, just how important it is. We talked about it a little bit the other day that, I just want to encourage you, to, even if it's, if you can put aside 50 cents a pay period, if you can put aside every time you get money, put aside a quarter, $1, $20, $50, whatever you can like get your head around. Hey, Ayapo, whatever you can get your head around, to build that saving muscle, to build that investing in you muscle, to build that putting something aside for you muscle, because it's always going to be something out there to take all your money. It's always going to be something to spend all your money on. So if we don't develop that habit of holding a little something back for ourselves, it's gonna be gone. So I like to talk about money. Just imagine something popping off in the club, restaurant, or anywhere in public. Cops automatically goes for the gun on an unarmed individual. Over on True Royals feed, they talking about Information Man's partner. Somebody in his family purchased some land and was looking at the land, and the white next door neighbor shot him and killed him. and then had the story that oh, I thought he was breaking in. It's like it's the same stories over and over again, the same I guess the slaughteration, it's the same narrative for the slaughteration or the same excuse or explanation. So anyway, 85% of Americans worry about their finances. The main concern is the inability to cover an emergency or unexpected expense. And the thing about emergencies and unexpected expenses is that you don't know specifically what the emergency is going to be. You don't know what the unexpected expense is going to be. But I promise you, you got an emergency and an unexpected expense coming. You do. Like you just do. So get in that habit of putting something aside, escalate it as you get stronger and stronger in that habit if you don't already have it, because you're going to need it. Just expect that you're going to have something unexpected and some emergencies come up. Of course, there are those who aren't making enough money and others who live above their means. We already know that the superior pale males aren't strong without a firearm. They ain't strong with a firearm. That's like some bogus illusionary BS. You know? Like I feel like that doesn't make you strong. That's like a punk. That's like a yeah, that's ill. Um So, and then I also want to say that, even like this idea of, I told y'all when I was there was a woman in Hattiesburg who was like, I don't know how she was getting by, but she ended up, when she died, she donated a whole bunch of money to the University of Southern Mississippi. But she had been saving money, saving money, saving money. Hey, I see, what's up? She had been saving money, saving money, saving money a little bit, and over time it built up. And so that's somebody who, even though you might look at them and be like they don't have an income, she was still able to save. So be inspired. So even if you look at yourself and feel that you don't have an income to save, the two are not mutually exclusive. You are consistently using a credit card versus your debit card. I always say, and it may sound old fashioned, but if you can't afford this shit, then don't buy it. Somebody had to explain that to me, but I have embraced it wholeheartedly. Put them credit cards down, leave them alone. Hey, Bonafide. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, because all that's doing, that's a product that these banks are selling and these other companies that are selling, that's making them money. It ain't really doing nothing for you but creating, like it's a messed up mindset. Like you think you have more than you have. Live below your means. Now I can relax and laugh. I'm stressed. Were you over on the live stream with True Royal? I haven't decompressed. I made the mistake of going on before I came here. I'm like, oh, I got a few minutes. Let me see what's up. And now I'm like, yeah, yeah. I didn't even get to hear the whole story. Yeah, people don't realize when you taking out, hey, True Royal, I was just crying about the feed you were doing. Well, but I just came on for a minute and heard about the murderation in the family. When you're using a credit card, you're taking out a loan. Okay. You don't have a budget, you don't have a plan. And that's another thing I just want to say. Y'all heard the expression, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We have to start developing we have to start practicing, developing, strengthening our ability to plan, our ability to strategize, our ability to analyze. Okay, I want to do this. What are the steps? How can I break it down? We got to be practicing this stuff, because this is the kind of stuff I heard someone say the other day. Are we getting prepared to run a city or country? Are we prepared for that? Are we getting prepared? And I'm thinking, yeah, how are we getting prepared? But then I was like, shoot, how are we getting prepared to run our lives? How are we prepared to run our lives? How are we practicing running our lives strategically, smartly? So we need to have spending plans. We need to have time plans. We need to have all kinds of plans for our life. We need to have visions for our life, for our people, for our families, for our communities. And some people are like, I remember somebody saying, oh, as soon as you make plans and God laughs. And I understand when you make a plan, it's not necessarily going to unfold the way that you think it's going to unfold. But we got to have a plan. A plan is almost, in a way, it's kind of like letting the universe and letting God know that this is my desire, this is what I'm working toward, this is my intention. And intentions are powerful, desires are powerful, visions are powerful, and that gives you something to focus on. That's important. It's important. So you don't have a budget, go start practicing, start learning. If you don't know what to do, get with some people, talk to some other people about it too. The people we around, we got to elevate, each other. We got to support each other. Only 32% of Americans keep a formal budget. And if you did it before and you fell off, just start again. That's okay. All of your friends call you when they want to go shopping. Hey, I'm going to the mall. Come on, Angela. Don't nobody call me when they want to go shopping, because they know I'm going to be like, what we shopping for? What we need? Where we going? I don't need anything from there. I got out of the habit of just going in places looking around in case I saw something that I might need that I didn't know that I needed. I would never consider taking a long road trip without a road map and a plan. And that's what and we got to practice on the road. We got to develop that. We got to keep working on it. You don't have any savings. We talked about savings already. On average, almost 70% of adult Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. And you hear the statistic all the time that most people, if they had a $400 emergency, they SOL, they out of luck. They don't have, we need to get in the formulating, carrying out both short-term and long-term plans for short-term and long-term goals. I'm the save queen. Yes, that's wonderful. That's important. And we need to be talking, we need to talk about this with people. Now, I used to play cash flow all the time. I don't play cash, but I everybody knew I'm playing cash flow. We did it once. I did it once a month, and I had one or two people who were like serious about it. But everybody I met, I'm like, come play cash flow. Come on, let's talk about it. Read The Millionaire Next Door. You're not putting aside any money for retirement. Okay, so we finished with that. An Uber driver shot and killed a passenger in Denver. Do we ever hear about taxi drivers shooting and killing people and raping people? I don't really understand what the difference is between a Uber driver and a taxi driver. Hey, Mother Nature. I don't really understand. I don't understand. But anyway, it seemed like you hear these stories of like the Uber people are evil. They just seem like regular people. I say $5,000 a year. Now that's a live stream. That's look, you see, it's my mama's. Yeah, that's a conversation. That's a live stream. We should be. That's how you do that. What's the strategy? Yes. My little homie got thousands in quarters, nickels, and dimes. Now that was one of my saving strategies when I first started. I would never give change at a store. I would always use bills. And then I'm a pimp. I would Yapo, wish we were closer by. I would take all of that change and put it aside. Every night I dump it, and then once a quarter, that would go in the bank. That was the savings. That was the strategy. That's and I still do that. I don't like when people, they like the total is 151 and I give them $2. They be like, you got 51 cents? I got 51 cents, but I'd be like, no, I don't have 51 cents for you. In my head, I'm like, this 51 cents is for me. It's going in my savings. I mean, yeah, okay. So yeah, I like that. The little stuff add up. Penny harvest, nickel harvest, dime harvest, quarter harvest. Half of the teens who think social media has a negative effect on people say it's because of bullying, rumors, or harmed relationships. Now, I've heard that a lot of times people on social media get envious of other people, and that causes stress. Like they're looking at somebody and they're like, oh, their life is so this and their life is so that. And you don't know nobody through social media. You know, you don't know nothing about them. You don't know nothing about their life. Um, half of the the pimp enforcer, half of even in real life when you know people, you don't really know nothing about them. I save all my change in a 5-gallon water bottle. One of the glass ones. Ex-Florida officer slapped with 35-year sentence for hitting five. No, oh, not one of the glass ones. Oh, they do come in plastic. Duh, Ozarka. Yeah, that's the only thing that them plastic jars are good for. They're not good for water. Ex-Florida officer slapped. What you doing, Bella? Ex-Florida officer slapped with 35-year sentence for hitting 5 children with his car, killing one. One full bottle is about $2,000. So you do 2.5 a year. If you set aside just $5 a day, that's over 18,000 a year. That helps for those inevitable rainy days. Store your water in glass jugs. Peace. Oh, prayers for the babies, for the baby who was killed. She about to scream at her dog. That's right. I'm gonna choke her out. I gotta relieve the pressure somehow. How am I gonna relieve the pressure? Teach the royal babies to save. Yes. And your royal sisters and brothers and mamas and daddies. We gotta it's serious. Yeah. Nigeria's tramadol crisis. Now, this is interesting because I saw two headlines on it and they both had different approaches. Nigeria's tramadol crisis. Now, tramadol apparently is some sort of prescription pharmaceutical drug, the drug fueling death, despair in Boko Haram. The other headline, uh, is like tramadol is a muscle relaxer. Oh, the imagery on this one had like somebody, it looked like they were putting the pill in Coke. And then the other one, it was just like a red pill in somebody's palm. But the other article was like tramadol it's giving people the energy to fight ISIS or fight. I used to take tramadol for my pain. Okay. Oh no. This is the wrong article I hit. He was alcohol fueled. This is back to the man who hit the children. 50 years old, hitting 5 students at a Polk County bus stop. His blood alcohol level was almost twice the legal limit. He served as a police officer in Mississippi, pleaded no contest to DUI manslaughter and vehicular homicide. So the thing that kind of upset me about the headline is that it was like 35 years and somebody is dead. And somebody is dead like a child is dead. Like 35 years? I mean, every time we had this conversation, hey, Marlowe's Corner, I was talking about bare knuckle boxing at the top of the show. Every time we had this conversation, I just can't seem to make it make sense. Like, like the whole justice system. Like, I don't understand. Like, because it's like 35 years, he should get 200 years. He already 85 years old. So, I mean, no matter how many years he spent, it's not going to bring the baby back. Like, it just won't compute. Like, I'm like, it just don't, I mean, and I know everybody mess up, but I just feel like just stop messing up. Just stop effing up. In justice system. Also, the next headline is tramadol emboldens vigilantes to fight Boko Haram. I don't know why I keep calling them ISIS. So it's you could use it to the just us system, like just them, not us, just them system. um, I guess you could use it for what, like you could take scriptures to support whatever you want to support. So if you ISIS or Boko Haram, you could take the drugs to support what you're trying to do negative, and if not, you should murder our people and never spend 5 minutes in prison. So you think that 35 is good because at least it's something. I just feel, I mean, it just seems sad, when when a young person dies. I mean, it seems sad when anybody dies. And I mean, I know we all have to die, and everybody's life is not going to be long. I understand that. And I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. Natural hair, a former, yeah, and I don't think I really have the reserves at the moment to even process it. Natural hair, a former Louisiana nursing student deemed unsafe by university, no forgiveness. Natural hair student, so somebody's natural hair are just the way it grow out your head, of a former Louisiana nursing student was deemed unsafe by the University of Holy Cross. She felt forced to leave. I would have left too. If you telling me the way that my hair grow out of my head is unsafe, I feel like that's not a safe environment for me to be in. Clearly, I mean, that's just the overt aggression. What about all the other microaggressions and hostility toward, who she is? That story is coming off of Atlanta Black Star, if you want to follow up on it. But the headline is Natural Hair of Former Louisiana Nursing Student Deemed Unsafe by University of Holy Cross. Yeah. Oh, you saw this. Oh, Sister Natural. Natural hair, former Louisiana nursing student deemed unsafe by University of Holy Cross. She felt forced to leave. Uganda to build Idi Amin Museum to attract tourists. I don't know a lot about Idi Amin. I think that he initially expelled like the Asian, the Indian, the colored people in the country, and so people were like up in arms about that. And he might have been part of the Africa for Africans movement. And so then it seemed like it's hard to me. I feel like then it becomes hard to get real good valid information. I did see that movie that not for Forrest Whitaker did. Right, I deemed the College of the Unholy Cross unsafe. Me too. Right, that's what we deem. I did see that movie that the guy Forrest Whitaker did. And why they call it The Last King of Scotland? Like, was he really an admirer of Scotland? Like, was it propaganda? Like, he seemed really, really crazy in the film. But like, who put the film out and for what purpose? And was he like demonized because he was like, y'all Asians can't be in here, like just exploiting us in our own country? I don't know. I mean, I never really studied much about him. He definitely has the impression, at least in my experience, of being, kind of cuckoo crazy. But I don't know. Forrest always plays crazy roles. I kind of like natural hair is unsafe because it doesn't because it doesn't have any chemicals in it to devitalize it, to kill you through your brain, kill your spirit. Hi, everybody that I didn't say hi to. So I don't know. They like, well, we can't, get around the fact that Idi Amin was here in Uganda. So, we might as well build a museum. So I don't know, is it gonna be like a how people like in Detroit, one of the guys that I is a firefighter that I do tours with, and he's like, Detroit is the fire capital of the world. And he's always talking about, we had 800 fires last night. And there are people who come here to Detroit to watch fires. Like, they're excited by that. They think it's like interesting. And, I don't know. I don't know what they think, but it's like it's a big thing. I didn't know that. And so is it like the Idi Amin Museum? Like, people like to see disasters, like how people are like, oh, I'm going to buy this serial killer. These glasses were the glasses of a serial killer. So I'm going to buy them. Those things on the internet, on the interwebs, people spend big money on that kind of stuff. Like, they get excited by it. Some people are into it. So I don't know if that's what the Idi Amin Museum is supposed to be about. I don't know. German zoo escapes. Listen to this: lions, tigers, and jaguar. So they were recaptured, but where the animals are escaping. And it made me wonder. I know this might sound weird, but I'm like, I wonder, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, I wonder if they work together. If they like, y'all, we got to get out of here. They got us on lockdown. They got us living in this unnatural, fucked up environment. We got to get out. Come on, lions and tigers. And some of the lions were like, no, still devil's night. Sort of, kind of, but not really. And some of the lions and tigers were like, no, I'm just going to stay here, because if we go, they might shoot us with the tranquilizer gun. And then, the elephant was like, I would leave, but they got me on this, hey, radical sister, but they got me on this, Sister Ajali. I told you I bought this black. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I got it on Kindle. They got me on this chain. Y'all know how they train elephants. But I want to know if the animals work together. Y'all think the animals work together to escape? And I was rooting for them. I guess they were in like a local community. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to reading it. I got 2 books in the queue, but it's in the lineup. Read this black. Buy this black. I told Brother Yapo he only had to tell me 8 million times before I bought it. They might, according to Madagascar, they do. They might work together? Because it was like in a residential community. Now, me personally, I don't think that I would want to run into a tiger on the street, but I'm rooting for them. I'm like, yeah, get out. Like I feel like I want y'all to be free too. Locked up in a daggone zoo. I can't stand the zoo. Yesterday and today, I can't stand this. I'm gonna have to reprogram something, because I'm like, what's up with that? It's crazy. So, but they caught them, and the people in the neighborhood, I guess, were nervous. They told them to stay inside. Shoot, if I would, they probably wanted revenge too. They's probably ready to get at some humans. And I don't want to get got at, but I don't blame them. They like literally get out. My sister. Jesse Jackson grills Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook's lack of diversity. Are we going to get tired? Is it wrong? Like, I just feel like, are we going to get tired of begging them? Or is that the right thing to do? When I met Jesse Jackson in person, and my mother met Jesse Jackson in person, but it was on 2 different occasions. When I met Jesse Jackson in person, I didn't know my mother had. I was like, oh my God. Now this is not progressive. So just Facebook's lack of diversity. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, he is way more attractive and charismatic. He is fine in person, and you cannot tell that through the TV. You cannot tell that through the pictures. And just the other day, I was talking to my mother, and we were talking about people who, you can't read them through the, some people are more photogenic than, they photograph more attractive than they are in real life, physically. And she's like, and I met Jesse Jackson and he was fine. I'm like, what? You met Jesse? And I think it might be a universal consensus. But are we going to get tired of begging them? I'm tired of begging, so I'm not going to beg. Yeah, Facebook has a lack of diversity. He like, y'all don't have no black people or hardly any black people in your board. You don't have no black people at the C level. You don't have no. Leave Facebook. Yeah, anyway. I'm tired. I'm not here for it. I'm not interested. I'm not, knocking on the door begging them to let me in and eat your food. I'm not knocking on the door begging them to let me in, and I'm trying to find my little piece of space, my little space of peace, my little pieces. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. That's what I'm finding. I don't know. We have Black Spot and Black Junction. Screw Facebook, screw YouTube. Yeah, I need to get my Black Junction and my Black Spot on. I'm trying to find the exit. Right. Where the exit at? Where I get out? We're not alone. We are not alone. Yes. And we're finding the exits. We are finding the exits. You found the exit. You found the exit. We right behind you. Give us free. I'm saying that not like somebody can give it to us, but like, Okay. So yesterday, I'm gonna exit stage right. Yesterday, we talked about Tulsa, Oklahoma, the attack on Black Wall Street, right? So now today it's on my news feed again. So now I'm even more tired because I'm like, dag. So I guess it started one day and it continued on to the next day. So I guess I didn't realize that. Again, like I was saying yesterday, I'm really not familiar with the details of Black Wall Street. I just know that it seems to fit the pattern of, even just on an individual basis, when some um I don't know another word for people. I don't like to use cave beasts, but I don't know when the hateration, it just fit the habit of the pattern of hateration. You can see it on a small scale. If somebody see you happy and you playing golf, then they want to call the cops on you and try to take your life. If you see it in a big scale, a community is thriving and doing well, then we want to bomb it and jack it up. In Detroit, we got whatever the name of the street was, we gonna run the freeway through it. But they ran through freeways through communities throughout that's just that's hateration, jealousy, pettiness, trying to create like the thing is you can't diminish, they can't diminish who we are. They've tried, but you just can't stop. You can't stop what's real. You can't stop good. You can't stop God. So I don't know. I don't need to, I don't know the details, but I figure it just fits into that narrative. But I saw this one video like probably 6 or 8 months ago, and it was like one of the survivors, and I think that shows up on my headline too. One of the survivors talking about just like, I don't want to talk about it. El Yanga, an African leader of Maroon colony of fugitive slaves. Y'all see Bella looking at me? Oh, now she's not looking. They are literally devils, doers of evil. Devils. Oh, that was a nice image. That must be a statue. Look at that nose and them lips. Woo! What is there to know about El Yanga? From what is told, El Yanga was a Mexican African abolitionist and revolutionist in Mexico. It appears he ruled during the early period of Spanish colonial rule. He was born in 1545. They dumbass don't even know we were being lied to all day school. Yeah. 1545. No, I'm just like here recently, like within the last year or so, starting to process dates. So like now through school, being lied to all through school. Yeah. I'm just starting to process dates. So now like I'm like, oh, 1776, was the founding of, America. And so I'm like 17, this is 200 years before that, right? That's like a long time. That's like that's a long time. Spanish colonial rule. He was born in 1545, July 31st. Although he went by the name Yanga, El Yanga, or Inyanga. That feels good in the mouth. His real name was Gaspar Yanga. He was a member of the royal family of Gabon, Africa. He was kidnapped and placed in the Middle Passage to travel to the New World around 1570. He was a born leader. He did not take being enslaved without a fight. He had a band of enslaved Africans to escape to the he led a band of enslaved Africans to escape to the highlands near Veracruz. There they built a small maroon colony. Now we hear about the Maroons in the context of Jamaica. I've never really heard about them in the context of Mexico, but there's a black community in Mexico. When my mother was there in Mexico, they were having a conference of the black folks. I saw some little girls on YouTube who taught themselves West African dance watching YouTube videos. Little Mexican girl, little black Mexican girls. Because that's our heritage. That's our people. That's who we identify with. That's who, that's us. We don't see it reflected around here, but that's who we are. They attracted to who they are, to that part. Yeah, right. I go to a Barbados penny with the black. Oh, you told me that. You got a 1792. Okay. So yeah, I don't really think much about, John Horse. Mexico gave him his band and his band Refuge. John Horse, okay. Um, because the colony was isolated, it helped protect them for over 30 years, and other fugitives from enslavement soon found their way there as well. Um, okay. I still believe I saw somebody was doing some research, and I really want to like find it again about down in the swamps, that there were communities of people living in the swamps, and that a lot of people didn't want to deal with the swamps. They could escape into the swamps, and they had like thriving communities. They come out and, take, what you call it when you rescue things from the people. Hey, Rowdy Chica, what's up, girly? When you like, not the five, like when you free, you got to free the stuff. They go and free some stuff and bring it back if they needed it. Liberate some supplies. They was growing stuff, and just, I love that story. I love that vision. I love that idea. You know, I love that idea. I don't know if it's just a fantasy, but I do feel like there are always, as much as we think we know, there are always things we don't know. As much as we think we see, there are always things that we don't see. So I feel like, all kinds of things are possible, and so I choose to believe that. That's, yeah. Um, okay. So that's coming off of Black Then. So far, all of the stories of revolutionary Black Then is doing pretty good. I still think that Black Then or somebody should have a daily, story of revolution, a daily account, a daily remembrance of revolution and revolt and resistance, to celebrate every day, to acknowledge, to call out the names, to inspire us, to challenge us. You should always learn something new every day. Yeah. From one of your comments, I know I'm behind on getting back to my comments, but they come across my look, I get a new comment coming right now. They come across my phone. I get them like 3 or 4 times, but I can only respond to them on. But I want to talk about poem about my rights, because I think that's when I first heard that man's name that you said. Oh, I heard his name, and that's why I put it in my freestyle. COG, that's who I'm talking to. Okay. A man claiming to be Jay-Z's secret son wants paternity test. This isn't about the money for me. And I kind of feel like, of course, it's not about the money. If you think that somebody is your father, if you think that somebody is your relative, if you think that somebody is your family, but especially your father and your mother, your mama and your baba, like, who don't want to know who they people are? Who doesn't want to, like, and I feel like that ain't got nothing to do with money. Even when your daddy is poor, you want to know who they are. I mean, not poor spiritually and emotionally and mentally, but I just mean, no, it's not about the money. I don't know nothing about the child. I'm just, when I looked at the headline, I'm like, yeah, you need to know who his people are. 20 life-changing Black culture moments to experience by train this summer. That's coming off the grill. I was kind of like, is it events that are happening? Oh, Patrice Lumumba. Yeah. Yeah, Patrice Lumumba. Are they events? I didn't read. Are they events that are happening? I mean, what does this mean? Black culture moments. I don't even know what that means. And so that kind of intrigued me, but not enough for me to click on the article. So if anybody want to check out the griot and tell us what the Black culture moments are, yes. Mormons grapple with race 40 years after ending Black ban. So I guess we on an anniversary, because weren't we talking about the Mormons the other day, and they had a ban on Black people being in leadership, and they ended it 40 years ago. In Belize, I heard the Belizeans call some Belizeans, I can't say, call them the morons. Kenyan officials to take polygraph. No offense to anyone, if anybody listening. I was just reporting what I had heard. Kenyan officials to take polygraph tests to tackle corruption. So I guess the person who is in leadership now in the country, he ran on a platform of we getting rid of all of this corruption. And I guess it's still been corruption and some issues. So now people are going to have to take lie detector tests. Ohio officer fired after threatening to kill Black police chief. Some believes these crackers. Some believes these crackers. Some don't. You better believe it. You better believe it. Um, Ohio. So he threatened to kill the black police chief. U.S. school official convicted for shooting teen over drugs. So this is didn't believe that black people had souls, while the truth of the matter is that the Mormons don't have brains. hmm And when I lived in Brooklyn, you would see them riding around, on bikes, and I guess I think that they come to black neighborhoods or brown. I don't know how they have to do their missionary work or whatever. But I lived in Fort Greene on Jefferson between Marcy and Tompkins. So I'm like, and that was, I mean, I don't know, maybe that whole area has changed, but we were black. I'm like, who are what? They just be riding around on they damn it, man. They just be riding around on they on their little bikes with their little name tags on, elder so and so. And in Hattiesburg, I would see them in the library. But they should go proselytize, or is that the right term? They should go get their people. Go get your people. Um, so I U.S. school official convicted for shooting teens over drugs. I like Bella. This my girl, my road dog. Um, Despite having no prior record, Georgia teen slapped with 5-year prison sentence over stolen sneakers. They're brave as hell. You always see them in black neighborhoods. You always see them in pairs like white socks. Peace, Rod Redbird. I heard this story this morning. It was the only story I heard before I started my day. So the child done I don't know, he met somebody on the internet. It wasn't like a store where he went, but Ron Redbird. It wasn't a store where he went, but it was like, oh, you want to buy these shoes from me? Okay, let me try them on to see if they fit. And then they say when the little boy tried them on and they fit, he's like, these took. I don't know what he said, because Joe Madison was like, I don't even know what that means. I'm like, that means he's taking the shoes, I guess. It don't seem that complicated. It didn't seem that mysterious. It might not have been standard English, but we understood what he meant, Mr. Joe Madison. So and then I guess somebody was with him who pulled a gun. I really didn't get all of the details, but he was 15 or 16 at the time that it happened. I think he's 18 now, and he's been sentenced to 5 years in jail. Again, the whole way the system work is jacked up. Is some BS. It ain't, it ain't just us. It's just them. Injustice. All of that. So anyway, just prayers out to him and to all of the people whose stories we don't hear. And then just the callousness, like it seemed like the person who was judging, the callousness with which he was, like talking to the young man and his family about, the decision that the child had made, when his people are out here making all kinds of, decisions, behaving in all kinds of ways. Like just total like savagery, like lack of compassion, lack of sense, lack of empathy, hostility, aggression. Yeah, okay. The first black TV channel, WGPR TV, 1975 to 1995. Y'all know where the first black TV station was? In Detroit. I mean, I'm just saying. But what I didn't know about WGPR is this. This coming off of Black Man too. I heard WGPR all my life. But do you know what WGPR stands for? Where God's presence radiates. I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. William Banks was the founder. He was a Detroit attorney, minister, and prominent member of the International Free and Accepted Modern Masons. Yeah, okay. So anyway, yeah, I remember WGPR. I didn't know it didn't exist anymore. They talking about the dance party. The scene. The scene. Y'all don't know nothing about the scene, but that used to be like the thing. Like they had what was it? Soul Train. Soul Train didn't have nothing on the scene. Y'all want to see some black people dancing. Anyway, showed the significant Arab American population living within Detroit and its outskirts. Yeah, when I was a child, it was Chaldeans, and now the Yemens are coming. And I'm sure there have been a lot of Middle Eastern immigrants in between. So anyway, Mr. Banks, I guess just shout outs. We gonna give you 11 claps and a scene, because I used to like the scene when I was a little girl. World Cup 2018, Nigeria kit sells out after 3 million pre-orders. So I first saw this, I'm like, dang, 3 million pre-orders. I would love to have 3 pre-orders selling out. Nigeria, yay, I'm all here for it. And so then I'm like, I don't know what a Nigeria kit is. So I hit the thing. So it's like something for the World Cup. Like, I guess Nigeria is in the World Cup. It don't look good for them winning, but the people are excited that Nigeria is in the World Cup. So they just like really going in and support even people who are like, people are like, you're in Belize. What you buying a Nigerian shirt for? They like, you see Belize in the World Cup? Then I'm here. I support people. I'm here for Nigeria. But then what kind of made me feel a certain way about it is that the company, I guess it's a Nike shirt. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to like feel all like excited and good about Nike making a bunch of money. Like, did any black people make any money off of it? I mean, I know, we like to have the pride of being like, yeah, I'm wearing the Nigeria kit, but I don't, but I'm just saying, I guess, and people were waiting in line, they pre-ordering, people were joking on the internet about, well, I guess I'm going to have to sell a kidney to buy my Nigeria kit shirt, or I don't know how the language is or the term. Always remember that you are a king. 2 more flowers. Thank you. I'm glad you stayed. Thank you for coming by. So yeah, I'm like, I don't, just like at first it was like, oh, Black Panther. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know how to be happy about Black Panther anymore. Help me understand why this is a win. Help me understand why the Nigeria kit selling out is a win. I don't understand. I'm not happy. I can't. Okay. California will allow autonomous cars to pick up. It's a win for Nike, but Nike don't do skip for me on mine. This little 20-year California will allow autonomous cars to pick up passengers. How did you know I was 20? You just read minds. So it seemed like probably about 2 or 3 months ago, they were like, okay, we're going to do these autonomous car tests. Almost as soon as they started, didn't they have like 2 accidents, people dying and stuff? And now all of a sudden, it's like I guess once that process has started, is nothing that's gonna stop it. We gonna have autonomous cars. I don't care if you got killed. I don't care. Autonomous cars, they coming. Like cashless society. I'm kicking and screaming and fighting the best that I can, but I can't hold the cashless society back. Yeah, I guess you can't hold the autonomous car back. They coming. Last surviving witness to the Tulsa race riot recalls the day Greenwood went up in flames. It was horrifying. That's coming off of Atlanta Black Star. So just, rest in peace to all of the people who, the problem is just like the airplane, people died while perfecting them. The cars have to have real world testing at some point, unfortunately. And if your ass get ran over, then you just collateral damage. God dog it. That's unfortunately, I sorry. Next time, don't be in the street. So, oh well. So rest in peace to, people who have made their transition, and to their families and relatives in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in any unjust situations. And with situations like Tulsa, Oklahoma, you get the impression of, or I get the impression in some of these like community wide situations where the agenda was like land, like uh, uh, transfer of wealth. Like, these black people have this wealth, and I want what they have. And so, come on, don't tell anybody I let you out. Come on. And so, come on. These black people have stuff that I want, and so I'm about to get it. I'm about to get this house. Go on, come on, out. Okay, Bella, I can't help you, girl. I tried. Like trying to reclaim the land, the land, the resources, the wealth, and I feel like when you like that when you build something up and then it gets knocked down, it get a little harder sometimes to build something up again, and then it get knocked down. And so just prayers out, and just love to us for our resiliency, and the fact that we just like keep building and keep building and keep building. And I mean, individually, and even community wide, we had those moments. Not, I don't know if you call it depression or but like it'd be hard to just keep rebuild. She wouldn't go out. To keep rebuilding and rebuilding, but she whining. To keep rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding, again and again. Like, how many times somebody got to punch you in your face before you just lay down in the corner? But laying down in the corner, I mean, we can't lay down, so what we gonna do? Excuse me, please. Come on. I'm like, don't tell anybody I did this, and it's all on the internet. I'm probably gonna like get in trouble with the ASPCA. Don't tell anybody. Vermont will pay some new residents $10,000. Your dog won't tell anyone. You only pig squeal. She tell on herself out here acting all wild and crazy. She cool mostly. Vermont will pay some new residents $10,000 if they work remotely. Here's how they really pushing this remote work thing in Vermont. Dang, I meant to tell Bonafide, but let me just tell all of y'all, if you come in the stream late, you can come back and watch the beginning. If you have to leave early, you can come back and watch the end. Just notice when you leave and come on back. My clothes just falling off me. So what they pushing this remote work, $10,000 to work remotely? Is that to set up your office, or what's the $10,000 for? People who are good at building wealth, we were talking about money earlier, tend to be the same no matter how much money they have. Now, one thing, when I first started playing the game Cash Flow, I was like, oh my gosh, if you're the maintenance man and you only make $2 each pay period, you never gonna get out of the rat race. And here's the airline pilot, and they make $2 million each pay period. But once I played again and again and again, I started to understand that sort of concept. Like, it's having a plan, having a strategy, and if you only got $2, you got to work your plan and your strategy that's customized to you. That's not gonna be the same strategy that's gonna work for the airline pilot. That strategy that's gonna work for somebody that's got a lot of student debt. Don't get student debt. Talk to somebody, pray on it, get some more information if you're not already in it. 2019 emoji hopefuls include a service dog and a flamingo. I don't understand the whole emoji thing, I guess. Like, I try to participate in like the emoji game on YouTube, but I understand the smiley face in the front. I guess sometimes I understand. But so what's the flamingo for? I don't understand. Miami Vice ain't even on. Don't know what I mean. Yeah, I don't understand. I cut back on sugar, and this is the best advice I can give you if you want to do the same. I guess it was National Donut Day. I don't know when the last time is that I've had a donut. Today I had 3. But I also had some dates with me, and I ate a date, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so sweet. Because I don't know how long it's been since I just had a straight date. I've been putting them in my smoothies. And then I had those Brazil nuts. So I was eating dates and Brazil nuts together. And I ate that straight date. I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then I ate the donut, and the date was sweeter than the donut. When I ate the donut, I'm like, it's not nearly as sweet as the date. I mean, that's just in case you were wondering about, my taste buds and the comparison. But I received my products today. Oh, yay. I have some people who have been clients of mine for, I don't know how long I've been in business. I got to figure, but I just have some people who are just loyal, loyal, loyal. I don't know. I don't know if I think it's to me, because actually this woman, she live in a whole nother state, and I think she be dealing with other people, but she keep coming back to me. Hey, Nikki. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I came out of the thing accidentally. So now I got to find it again. So in the meantime, Habaragani, it was collective work and responsibility, but I don't remember the Swahili term. Making your brothers and sisters' problems your problems. And being accountable to the past, the present, and the future. Okay, so we're back. A cockroach. Oh, so the point of the cutting out sugar story is that the person was like, when they tried to do it cold sugar, that it didn't really work not cold sugar, cold turkey, it didn't really work for them. And so, when they first did it, they lost a whole bunch of weight, and they're like, I'm not eating any sugar. And then it wasn't sustainable. So they had to do it gradually. So, I guess it's just like, as you know yourself better, and as you're like, when we talking about planning and setting goals, like, be encouraged. Like, if something don't work the first time, try it the second time. If it's something that's important, keep working on it. You figure it out. I believe in you. You go figure it. You got the answer. Just gotta, build up the right. You got it. You got it. I know he make one video a year. Daggone yappo. A cockroach burrowed itself into a man's ear and left 50 eggs behind. And this story is the stuff of nightmares. They ain't never lied. That's what I be scared of that. I don't want stuff going in my eggs. I don't want stuff going in my ears, buzzing. Ew, right. That's the stuff of nightmares. That's disgusting. And you hear those stories where, the people didn't know that the eggs were in there, and then they started hatching and they moving around and they can hear them. Oh, Lord, help us. Kanye West's new album, Ye, is his shortest ever at 23 minutes long. This graph shows how it compares to others. At first, I was like, 23 minutes? And then I was like, I don't really care. A deadly E. coli outbreak killed 5 people across 4 states, according to new numbers, but it may finally be safe to eat romaine lettuce again. Have y'all been not eating romaine lettuce? I haven't had hardly any raw greens in a few months. But I was kind of surprised that, I'm not saying that 5 people is a small number of people, because if I died, I would want, the people to be like upset. But I'm just saying, only 5? That doesn't seem like very many people. This is a big country. Across 4 states, 5 people died, and I stopped eating lettuce. I mean, I don't want to be one of the ones who died, but I don't know why I thought more people it was affecting. Maybe a lot of people got sick. What happens when you get exposed to E. coli? And see, that's all this big manufacturing, corporate farm stuff. That's what I said. I said, I'm going I have to figure out, I have to grow something this year for me. I'm gonna eat greens that I grow, or there's the black farmers here, the Malik Yakini. Makihini. He famous. He was one of the people who ran an African-centered school in Detroit, in Seroma Institute. And now he runs, dang, I can't remember it, but it's like a farm. And they talk about the National Black Food Security Network. He's a part of that. He's like in leadership. But I'm going to go over to his farm and get me some lettuce. Yeah. Okay. Well, rest in peace to those people who made their transition. And be careful and conscious. Vinegar. I don't know how to treat, E. coli. I don't know, how you wash and clean your vegetables and fruits before you eat them, if you're going to eat them raw, or even if you're, do the research and spread the word. Let us know what we need to know. Denver police on the hunt for suspect who scribbled racial graffiti outside Black-owned cafe in Denver. How many Black people are in? I've been to Denver. My first husband was in Colorado Springs for a minute, and I used to commute there every week to Colorado Springs. But I did a day trip or something to Denver, but I can't really remember. But that whole part of the country seemed white. So it's a Black-owned cafe, and they just mad. Some people just mad. So anyway, the police on the hunt. They on the hunt. Assaulted by white couple at Little League event. Fights more injustice when son is banned from the team. I need to find that cafe. That article was coming off of Atlanta Black Star. So she at the game, her son's game, she get attacked brutally. They say brutally assaulted. So that's not somebody yelling at you or hitting you. A brutal assault sounds like next level. So then now her child done got kicked off the team, which her child didn't need to be on that team anyway. But I'm just saying. But anyway, they're punishing her child for some other people. That's how the story is written. And I mean, that's how the story is told. I don't have a headache. This is like a preemptive strike against a headache. I'm blocking out the headacheation. I'm gonna see if I can find the name. It's called Whittier Cafe, Whittier. It's a cultural hub for residents. I started crying. I'm like, really, when they saw the graffiti. It said FUCKNIGGERS. In 5 Points. So I don't know, maybe 5 Points is a Black community in Denver. You have a neighborhood that has embraced diversity. You have neighbors that do not tolerate any forms of racism. This is not an issue of just Black people being upset. This has upset the entire community. Okay. Right. Right. Go. Yeah. Okay, we talked about that. Let's keep going. Oh my gosh, it's 1:13. Hulu's content chief and 2 other execs are out in the major shakeup of the company's leadership. I was talking to my girl today. She said she's going to try to get me Hulu. She said, I'm missing. She said, I never pay for Hulu. People always give me their codes. Let me see if I can find somebody who lets you use their Hulu code. I'm like, okay. Because I haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale all season. I just can't make it make sense to spend $15 for Hulu. I tried, but I couldn't. So anyway, they got some upheaval over there. Trump-Kim talks. North Korea's Kim Young-choi arrives in the White House. I think they said that this is the highest ranking official from North Korea to be in the United States in 30 years. I don't know, sometime is like significant for that. Tamaulipas Boss crisis. Mexico seeks talks over silenced zone. I don't know what that is. NFL player Jermaine Gresham paid a $50 fee so a woman wouldn't miss her flight, and people are blown away by his act of kindness. Now, when I saw the image, he looked black to me, unambiguously black. Now, she could have been black identified. She could be white passing. She could be white. I don't really know. She could be mixed race. I don't know. But, I guess my first reaction, and maybe it's petty, I'm like, well, that's good, because, the white people need all the help they can get, you know. Questions Muslims get asked during Ramadan. Can you brush your teeth? Is anybody celebrating Ramadan? Are we still in Ramadan? I've never celebrated Ramadan, but yeah, they just talking about and I guess ignorant is the right term, because if you don't know, you just don't know. So I guess it depends on how you ask the questions and how you seek information. There's a lot of information you can get online without even asking a person, and demanding that they do, intellectual labor for you, and that they be your teacher, and that they educate you, and they be your mommy. Because I don't really have time or energy for that with a lot of people. I'm just not interested. Don't ask me nothing. Somebody asked me, or asked my mother, if if something about black people wearing their head wrapped, and we were forced to wear our head wrap, so why do we wrap our heads? And every time I see him now, it's like my jaws are a little tight. Like, I never said anything to him about that because I heard about it through somebody else. But I'm like, why don't you just Google? Why don't you just, because when I Googled, yeah, just do your own daggone research. Stop asking me to do your damn work for you. Two drunk Ohio lawyers crashed their car, then tried to pass the blame on a fictitious black man. So I saw this before, but when I hit the article, they say that they lied and said that they gave the keys to some black man that they didn't know to drive them home. I mean, everybody should have known that story was a lie just from. Okay. Yesterday, and it was so jacked up when all of this cutting out and cutting in and cutting out and coming in. It's like whole sections were just missing in action, just gone. And I'm like, I don't even know if y'all heard me when I was saying it yesterday. But anyway, this is the first time I've seen it go out today. So the Sultan is like a spiritual and a powerful political and spiritual position in the Indonesia so he don't have any sons. He only have daughters. And so he's grooming one of his daughters to be the leader. And his brothers and sisters and their family, they like, as soon as you died, we chasing them all of your girls we killing them. I don't know if they said killing them, but they out of here. So you might as well not even be grooming them to be leaders. And the people are like, well, we don't want to be in the middle of it. The royal family will figure it out. And then if the woman becomes sultan, part of the responsibility of the sultan is that the sultan marries some feminine energy deity type thing. And the young woman is like, well, my daddy, whatever he says, basically, or, my father is wise, and whatever he says, I'm going to honor it, and I guess the father has decided that she going to be the next, he said, it's always been the women that hold the real power in Javanese households. That's what he says with a smile. But it sounds like some chaos in the brewing. The Sultan is 72 years old. He recently changed his own title so that it is gender neutral, and has given his elder daughter the new name, Gusti Kanjeng Ratu Mangkubumi, which means the one who holds the earth. Now, I like that. The one who holds the earth. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. Other cultures, how people are handling stuff. What do you do if you don't have sons? Hold me, please. Hulu. Oh, Hulu. Y'all, Bella been gone for a long time. SZA. We done looped through. So that's it. We at the end. She took herself for a walk. Finally, I know. You just keep going on and on and on. All of these stories, and you're just talking and talking and talking. Finally, we can go. Give us free. So what are you looking forward to? What's exciting? I did some more, got some information, did some more research. I didn't mean that. What you mean? Did some more research on the Jim Crow Museum, July 14th. Perhaps historic Black Idlewild. I don't know. I'm trying to poll the people who are coming because I'm flexible. And then the Concert of Colors is going to be going on in Detroit. So I pulled up. I saw what was going on at the Wright Museum. I'm at Hulu. Finally, they had a shakeup at Hulu. So the Concert of Colors is going on. So if you're thinking about coming this way, Google Concert of Colors Detroit 2018, because maybe you want to bundle the trip because, there are usually artists from all over the world. But this year, it seems like there are a lot of Detroit artists, but I don't know. I mean, that's what it just seemed like when I skimmed it. But, cooked a caveman dinner. What's that? Brontosaurus legs, wild greens. What did cavemen eat? All right. Ooh, parts. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Oh, and it's like phases of the moon. I like this card because there's hardly any white space on it. It's got all that yellow. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Don't be scared to be uncomfortable. That's sometimes where the growth is. Now, some discomfort, some dis-ease, but use your wisdom, use your insight, sometimes you got to push through some discomfort to get to your blessings, to get to your opportunities, to get to the next level, to get to your assignment, to strengthen your muscles. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. So that's it. Y'all ain't got nothing you looking forward to. You ain't got nothing you excited for. If you do, drop it in the comments. And again, hit the notification bell if you want to know when I'm going live, or if you want to know when the video is uploaded. Maybe you want to be live, be part of the conversation, hit the notification bell. Maybe you want to know as soon as Not News is up, I want to go and, see it. Hit the notification bell. All of that. Thank you. You can't tell. Another great broadcast queen. Thank you. So today is the best day ever, and it is on purpose. I feel better than when we started. If you look back in the beginning of the video, I'm not feeling good, but I do feel better. So thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the vibrations and all of that other good stuff, and the opportunity to share. And it's on purpose that we're all here together, whether live or virtually. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get some. I gotta eat. I guess I won't walk the dog since she just ran herself. But yeah, I got to get something to eat. So maybe while I'm eating. Yeah. So yep. So go out, make it a wonderful day, and until I see you again. Oh, I guess I need to hit pause. Yeah, so go out, make it a wonderful, fabulous day. Be wonderful, fabulous you. Be enjoy, be encouraged. Embrace the God within and all around. Seek God, celebrate God and good. Oh. Hey. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Who you gonna be if you ain't you? Who we gonna be if we ain't we? Who you gonna be if you ain't you?
Be you. Be fabulous.
Be fabulous you. Woo! I love it. Love y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace. Gotta eat.